and watch the chef cook.
You want 17 birds? Big ring, I play for the 17 birds. Hit my line if you want 17 birds. Big ring, I play for the 17 birds. I know a guy if you want 17 birds. Big ring, I play for the 17 birds. I know a guy if you want 17 birds. Big ring, I play for the 17 birds. Yeah, I'm from the 17th curb.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah. Lil Brunson back at you with the back at you, and I'm the best reporting on the Eagles. Listen, before we get into the meat and potatoes, I got to let you know that I'm going to be in D.C. week 3. PhillySportsTrips.com, man. Get you a chauffeur ride from Philadelphia and surrounding areas in a nice charter vehicle. Eagles fans all around you. They're going to take you from Philly and the surrounding areas up to D.C. to FedEx Field to a massive tailgate, beer, everything. Your ticket into the game, you know what I'm saying, and a ride back home. Do it. PhillySportsTrips.com. I'm going to be there. Philly Mike is also going to be there. It's going to be lit. It's going to be a movie. You know what I'm saying? And I want to let you know, man, the Hurt Season tees are available. The hats are available as well. As always, tap in with the print champs. Lord Brunson, get your Hurt Season tees, your Hurt Season hats, and all of that stuff. You know what I mean? And stay in step with what's really going on in the real Philly, in the city. So listen, let's talk about it, man. The 53-man roster. The 53-man roster is something that, you know, I feel like that you don't even have to go over every position to talk about. It's a few positions that you can talk about and have some question marks, and it's mainly around the bottom half of it. Like, for instance, man, let's talk about the wide receiver position. No, first of all, let's start with the position that's extremely hot right now. Let's get this out the way. Let's talk about the running back position of the Philadelphia Eagles. That one is all over the place because you hear a lot of reports. You hear Miles Sanders potentially, you know what I'm saying, being moved on, and we looking at guys like Kenyon Drake. We looking at guys like Kareem Hunt. Now those guys are great, but Kareem Hunt is on a different level. I'm not gonna lie. If you can get Kareem Hunt for Miles Sanders, I would absolutely do it because those two, yeah, they'll complement each other naturally. It probably would work if they complement each other, but you're talking about two guys who are running back one quality. You know what I mean? Miles Sanders being behind Nick Chubb, I don't know how it worked, but it worked. You know what I mean? And then every time Nick Chubb had to miss a game, Kareem Hunt let you know what was really going on. You know what I mean? That, listen, I'm somebody too. The Philadelphia Eagles get Kareem Hunt behind his offensive line. Kareem Hunt could probably run for 1,200 yards and catch for 500. Kareem Hunt can do it all. Kareem Hunt is like LeGarrette Blount if he was a scat back, in my opinion. So that was all over the place. They talking about Kareem Hunt. You know what I mean? The biggest debate and my thoughts on it in totality is if you move on from Miles Sanders, I expect Kareem Hunt nothing less. So I'm not worried about if you move on or not. I'm worried about the respect that's not being put on Kenneth Gainwell's name. We need a bigger back. No, we need a back that plays physical. And Kenneth Gainwell is a back that plays physical. You didn't see him punch it in on the goal line. You know what I mean? Just ran the defensive lineman over on the goal line for 6. Come on, man. Kenneth Gainwell is one of the worst type of running backs to play against. You think that ain't going to wear you down coming at you all game? No. You know why you think that? Because we have not been smart enough to do it. They didn't think Kareem Hunt could wear teams down when he first got into the league. They thought Kareem Hunt was too small when he first came into the league. Kareem Hunt showed that it's about how you run, not the size that you are while you running. Physical runners run physical. Maurice Jones-Drew was a bowling ball out there. You know what I mean? Wasn't the tallest guy. You know what I mean? Wasn't the biggest guy. You know what I mean? But when you're low and compact to the ground like that, Darren Sproles wasn't easy to bring down. It wasn't easy to bring down. But it is what it is, man. We're going to let stuff speak for itself on there. And wide receiver as well. Wide receiver is set if you're talking about the first 4 guys. If you're talking about A.J. Brown, Smitty, Quez Watkins, and Zach Pascal, wide receiver is set, I believe, in my opinion. Reagor is on the bubble. If you could think the Philadelphia Eagles won't cut Jalen Reagor, you are sadly mistaken. We took on the highest dead cap hit in league history. You know what I mean? With Carson Wentz. We will damn sure cut somebody, and if it's only going to cost $6 million. And that's what it costs for the Jalen Reagor thing. I don't think Jalen Reagor is bad. I just think that, I think if you keep him with some pros to it, if you let him go with some pros to it, I think it's a win-win no matter which way you go. It's a win-win no matter which way you go. Because think about it. What are you really expecting from Jalen Reagor? You're not expecting him to be a wide receiver 1. You're not expecting him to be a wide receiver 2. Take where he was drafted at out of the equation. I expect Jalen Reagor to get me 425 yards this season. That's a win for him. He hasn't done it in a higher capacity. 425 yards, being able to pick the bones off of, all of these weapons around us. You know what I mean? You should be able to come up big. It ain't going to be nobody. The top guy ain't going to be guarding you no more. I expect 425 out of you. At least. At least. And then if it gets you 425, then you got that option year you still could build. If you want to keep him around for that option year, let him keep boosting his own stock and his own resume, it helps you. You know what I'm saying? It helps you. But we'll see how that go, man. Tight end too. Grant Caltera, the injuries for me so far, that was a concern for me. I think he had concussion issues in college. Now he has another nagging injury that kept him out of some practices. But when he's available, he looks good. He looks really good. He looks active. He makes plays. But if you're keeping him, and if you're keeping Stoll, and if you're keeping Goddard, and you're keeping Caltera, it might be bye-bye for a guy like Noe Ty-Guy. You know what I'm talking about. It might be bye-bye for him because he's made a lot of plays as well in camp. Safety is another huge point of concern for me as well because a lot of those guys been making plays. Jaquiski Tartt made plays in games, but you haven't heard much from him in practice. Some guys are gamers, and some guys just practice is just, where I stretch. You know what I mean? He might feel safe, but in game, he turned it on. You got to respect it. Anthony Harris, solid, dependable. You don't hear nothing good or nothing bad about him. That's a good place to be in for a veteran player. Marcus Epps has wowed. He was our project. We developed him. He's our baby. So I feel like he got to be there. Kayvon Wallace could be the odd man out in that situation. Even the guy that came from the Seahawks has stepped in and made greater plays than, that of a Kayvon Wallace this training camp. Yesterday, the Browns game was the perfect time for a lot of these guys to wow who haven't wowed. Who took the opportunity to wow during the Browns game? Nobody that I'm mentioning right now. In fact, not a lot of people. The only person, in my opinion, that took the opportunities to wow were the running backs and Cam Jurgens. And is that a coincidence that Boston Scott and Kenneth Gainwell looked good running behind Cam Jurgens? It's not a coincidence, man. It's not a coincidence. But who used the ability of Cam Jurgens better? Who used it better? I think Kenneth Gainwell is an every down back. I think Kareem Hunt is an every down back. I think Miles Sanders got a lot to prove. I'm cool if you keep the running back room the way it is. I'm cool if you mix it up. But yeah, this whole notion that Jalen Hurts hasn't progressed is another thing that bothers me, man. When you look at the numbers and the completions and the completion percentage, the touchdowns and interceptions from this point last year in practice, and I got this from ESP, who's been a very, very critical guy of Jalen Hurts. So you know what I mean? For him to put this up there is showing that he's trying to be as fair down the middle as possible, and I respect that. But if you're being fair down the middle like he's doing, you gotta post the good with the bad. And the good is looking good from where he was in practice last year to where he is now. I think he completed less balls last year, but he threw more balls last year. This year he threw less balls and completed more passes. You know what I mean? He went up in touchdowns and he went down in interceptions. Completion percentage basically somewhere around the same, but you could live or die with that. He took more snaps than he did, in 2021 than he did in 2000 in the practice that's going on right now. He took more snaps. That's a fact. You know what I mean? But with taking less snaps, he's been able to produce more touchdowns and mitigate the interceptions. That lets me know that he's diving into the book. That lets me know that he's understanding timing better. He's understanding anticipation better. I don't need nobody to come out there and say Jalen Hurts is understanding anticipation. Stats like this show it. This is what I talk about when I mean that guys need to, get out of the business of waiting for somebody on ESPN to tell you it's okay to say common sense things. It's okay to say common sense things. Even if the other sheep want to not say common sense things, I'm telling you right now, it's okay to use common sense. It's okay. If I'm reading a story and both builders were building the house at the same time, and builder A is still at the same pace, but builder B is excelling faster and better at a certain time, you know what I mean? That lets me know that builder B learned something that builder A didn't. I don't need nobody to tell me that. I can figure that out. You know what I mean? And that's what I mean, that, if you calling it 100, it's okay to be critical of your quarterback. I preach that. If you are critical about him, that's fine. I'm critical about a lot of people. You know what I mean? That don't bother me. but keep it 100, keep it straight down the middle. You know what I mean? It'll make you look better at the end of the day. But let me know what y'all think in the comments, man. What you think about the 53-man roster? What you think about, you know, the issues at running back, wide receiver, all the things we talked about, all one big story, man. Let me know. Tap in.